Hello everyone. Today we shall do the very first poem of your course book Honeydew. And the poem is The Ant and the Cricket by Aesop. We all have seen ants in our localities. And if you observe them, you will find them as most hardworking and disciplined insects. Crickets are insects which can be distantly related to grasshoppers.
So, the poem, The Ant and the Cricket, is basically a conversation between the protagonist of this poem. What is protagonist? The main characters. The main characters are the ant and the cricket. These are the two characters played in it. Okay, and the poetic devices used are personification and metaphor. What is personification? When human characteristics are given to animals or non-living things, it is called personification. The ant and the cricket are personified as humans, as they are talking and thinking like humans. And what is metaphor? It is a comparison of two things. The last or the concluding line of the poem, some crickets have four legs and some have two. The poet compares lazy and careless people with the cricket. Who is this Aesop? We all have read many of his stories. We have narrated his stories many a times without knowing who the author is. Aesop was a Greek fabulist and storyteller, credited with a number of fables now collectively known as Aesop's fables. I will list you a few of them. The tortoise and the hare, the ant and the cricket, the fox and the crow, Belling the cat, and so on. I am astounded that we all have read these stories but never knew about the great storyteller Aesop. As I told you earlier, Aesop was a fabulist. Now what this fable is? Fable is actually a short story and the characters of the story are mainly animals, legendary creatures, plants or forces of nature. It's a fiction, that is, it's not a true story. In fables, the animals speak and act like human beings, and these stories are meant to enforce some moral value. These stories are told to highlight human follies and weaknesses. So this poem, The Ant and the Cricket, though in a poetry form, has a story in it and is explicitly formulated at the end to convey a message. I will just narrate the story in a nutshell. Then I will read out the poem stanza by stanza. While I read, I want you all to read simultaneously. This poem is a story of a desperate and silly cricket and a miserly ant. The cricket would sing during the months of summer and spring. He never stored food for the winters. In the winter season, he finds that there is no food to eat at home. He was starving and thus he went to the ant. He requested the ant to lend him some food and shelter. The ant refused to help him and told him to pass the winter also dancing. After saying this, the ant threw the cricket out of his house. This is the essence of the poem. The Ant and the Cricket, an adaptation from Aesop's fable. A fable is a story, often with animals as characters, that conveys a moral. This poem about an ant and a cricket contains an idea of far-reaching significance, which is as true of a four-legged cricket as of a two-legged one. Surely you have seen a cricket that has two legs. By end of the poem, you will understand what this statement two-legged one means. Stanza 1. Read simultaneously with me. A silly young cricket, accustomed to sing through the warm, sunny months of gay summer and spring, began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. Not a crumb to be found on the snow-covered ground, not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me? Here, accustomed means used to or in the habit of doing something. Gay means vibrant, bright or happy. Crumb means a small piece of bread or biscuit. There was a young cricket, an insect which is similar to a grasshopper. And this insect, this cricket, was young and he was not wise enough. He was not wise enough to plan his future. He had the habit of singing during happy times. Happy times here refers to the favorable condition. During spring and summer season, the warm sunny weather allowed lush green vegetation and all living beings got adequate food and water. In contrast, during the winter months, the whole place was covered with snow. There were no plants, leaves or flowers in the sight. Therefore, animals found it hard to find food at such times. The cricket, which enjoyed during the active warm months, failed to store for the future. He opened the cupboard and found it empty. There was not even a small piece of wood to be found. Why? Because he had not saved any food. Winter had started and now only the cricket realized that he had not stored food and this was too late. He wondered what will happen to him because he did not have any food. There was not any food available for his sustaining. Stanza 2. Read with me. At last by starvation and famine made bold, all dripping with wet and all trembling with cold, away he set off to a miserly ant to see if, to keep him alive, he would grant him shelter from rain and a mouthful of grain. He wished only to borrow, he would repay it tomorrow. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. Here, starvation means suffering or death due to lack of food. Dripping, so wet as to shed drops of liquid soaked in water. Famine means scarcity of food. Miserly means a person who hoards wealth and spends as little money as possible. The cricket thought he would have to starve without food if he did not do anything now. The cricket was soaked wet. Why? Because it was raining outside and he was shaking, trembling, shivering. Why? Because of the extreme cold weather. He gathered courage from the fear of being without food. So he thought he will go and meet the miserly ant. The cricket wanted to borrow from the ant and repay ant tomorrow. Yet tomorrow doesn't mean immediate next day. It is he will repay it in future. So the cricket wanted to ask a shelter from the rain to protect himself from the rain and a mouthful of grain. Mouthful of grain is the quantity of grain that he can fill in his mouth and that's sufficient for an insect to fill his stomach at one time. And he thought, if not, he would die of starvation and sorrow. If ant does not lend him anything to eat and it does not give him shelter, he is surely going to die out of starvation. The poet refers to the ant as miserly here. Miser refers to the people who save a lot and spend very little. It can be given a positive meaning here to praise the ant's quality of thinking about the future and preserving food for the cold days. Stanza 3. Read along with me. Says the ant to the cricket, I'm your servant and friend. But we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lend nothing by when the weather was warm? Quoth the cricket, not I. To be continued. The cricket went to the ant and asked for help. The ant said he was cricket's servant and friend. So humble, isn't it? But the ant also said that ants don't borrow or lend anything. The ant further asked the cricket what he was doing when the weather was warm enough for him to work hard and save. The cricket said, not I. I did not save anything for my future. Quoth the cricket, not I. Here quoth means said. It's an old English term. Continuation of stanza 3. My heart was so light that I sang day and night. For all nature looked gay. You sang, sir? You say? Go then, says the ant, and dance the winter away. Here, dance the winter away means spend time dancing. During the winter, you spend your time dancing. The cricket replied that he was very happy when the nature looked good and bright. He added that he sang all day and night out of happiness. The thought of saving anything for his future need never struck his mind. The ant replied sarcastically that if you had been singing during the summer, now you can go and dance till the winter ends. Here the poet refers to the mockery made by the ant. The ant mocked the cricket because the ant worked hard during the summer months to relax and have food during winter, whereas the cricket had sung songs all day during summer and now he came to the ant for help. This also refers to the poet mocking lazy people. We should always think of our future and save according to our needs. When we have money, we should not spend everything. We should save for the hard days. If we have a valid reason for not saving for future, others may show pity on us and help us out of a difficult situation. But if we enjoy happily instead of working hard, nobody will come forward to help us. The summer and winter may also refer to our young and old age. If we work hard during our youth, during our young years and save wisely, we can live happily during the old age without asking help from others or without depending on others. In the similar way, we can connect it with the student life. If you work hard throughout your academic year instead of playing, enjoying and merrymaking, you can have excellent results. This is for those children who rely on last moment preparation and they expect to come out of flying colors. Concluding couplet. Read with me. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Folks call this a fable. I warrant it true. Some crickets have 4 legs and some have 2. Adapted from Aesop's fable. Here wicket means an opening in a door, gate or wall. Folks, people. So, in the final lines of the poem, the poet shares the moral or lesson with his readers. The ant gets irritated and asks the cricket to leave. Those who do not wish to help themselves cannot be saved. The ant refused to help the cricket. He quickly opened the door, lifted the wicket and just pushed the cricket, just kicked the cricket out of its home. And the poor cricket had no other choice but to leave the place. The poet says that this story, most of the people think this as a fable, an imaginary story, but he feels it as a fact. The moral of the story is very true, that it can happen actually in real life also. He refers to the cricket in the poem as a four-legged cricket and humans as two-legged crickets. If we are silly enough like the cricket, we will also end up starved and disappointed. We should always think ahead and save for the future. The moral of the story is, the story teaches us that we shall not behave like cricket. We shall always prepare for the future so that in difficult times we do not have to beg to others for help. It also teaches us that we shall also be helpful to others, unlike the ant. Thank you.